Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I noticed that some of you are return viewers, and that excites us. I'm joined with my co-founder, Laverne, and this is all about you guys and helping you kind of understand our new way of archiving and our new way of really attacking, preserving your story and your family's story for the future. So with that being said, I'm going to get started. So today's webinar is the Beginner's Guide to Interactive Archiving. Now we're going to pretend that my archive is empty, and we're just going to kind of start with some of the basics and show you how to just get some stuff in there to prepare yourself, and how amazing it is that a little bit of data entry goes a really long way. So we're going to start simple. We're going to stay curious, and we're going to build a legacy that grows with you. So you don't have to have research to get started. You can, and this is an easy way to attach that research. So our agenda for today: where do I start? That's the whole concept of this webinar. Where do I start? This seems really overwhelming for a lot of people, and I get it. I understand. We think that we have to do 100 years of family research all at once, and that is not the case. So we're going to spend most of our time over in the application. You guys are going to see me do a lot of data entry today, but I promise you it's worth it. We're going to create some person and location profiles. We're going to enter data into those profiles. We're going to enter estimates. Date estimates are absolutely acceptable. We're going to look at our date picker. So estimates, unsure about dates, just get it in the realm, get it in there. We can always refine. Our address locator is a pretty fun little tool. Our verification ribbon is something that helps you along the way. Then we're going to look at linking profiles. And linking profiles makes your archive just explode from single entries. It's a really exciting way to just see the depth of what you can do in one sitting. We're going to drag and drop some media, and we're going to look at the cyclical effect of just what we do today. We're going to ignore all the other stuff in my archive, and we're going to look at just what today does for us. So, to get started, what do we know? You would be surprised if you start with yourself. What do you remember about your own life? Start with the basics, just some of your life events. Maybe birth, schooling, residences. Throw whatever you can in there. Date estimates are okay. I can't stress that enough. What do you remember about your siblings? What do you know about your parents? What friends do you remember having? So when you start thinking about your siblings, you start thinking about your friends and your parents, you're also building your own timeline because you're all connected. So some of that cyclical effect that we'll talk about, you'll see how looking at the world from their viewpoint really, really adds the dynamic nature to your archive. What did they know? That's the other fun part. We all remember different pieces. Ask friends and family to fill in the blanks. You don't have to sit down and interview them. It can be just short text messages, a short phone call. Maybe they come over for dinner and you say, help me out with some better dates. Help me out with some addresses. Where was that high school that I went to? What was its name? Complete names. Maybe you only know somebody's first name, but you don't for the life of you remember their last name. We all remember different pieces. So that's where this all comes in. Nicknames. There are people in this world that I only know by their nickname because I don't think I've ever called them by their real name. But that doesn't mean they don't have one. So maybe one of my friends remembers. Relationships. Who is that person married to again? What's the name of my cousin's husband? You don't have to know it. Other people do. So simple conversations with people can help you build out immensely, can just help you go bananas. And you'd be surprised how little tiny pieces can reverberate through an interactive archive. And that's what we're here to learn about today. So Let's take a spin. We're going to start here. So normally I start at our dashboard, but since we're talking about getting started, I wanted to not overwhelm you with what I've already got in here. We're going to start simple. So here we've got create quick profiles, and you can get to this page from a lot of different locations. You'll see buttons all over the place that say create profile. And this is how you do it. So with this, you don't have to know all this information at all. One of either first, middle, or last. And remember how I said I only know somebody's nickname? Just put it in there as their first name because that's what you call them, right? Their first name. We've got suffix, we've got sex at birth, gender identity, life status. That's the other one that's necessary. You don't need to know anything about their birth, death, location. We can add all that in later. So to sum that up, we need one of the name fields, we need a life status, and the privacy type is going to default to private. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in Jordan Elias Reyes. And we know that he's a guy. We know that he's living. And I just happen to know that his date of birth, look at this, look at how easy this is. No going clicky, clicky, clicky until your fingers fall off. 2004, September, the calendar recenters. I've got the 3rd. That's all I need to know. But I happen to know that he was born in Los Angeles. I don't know where, so I'm just going to say Los Angeles. We can hone it in later. We're going to submit. We're going to save and create a new one. Now this one is my friend Emily. I know a bunch of stuff about Emily, but I just want to get her in there right now. So we're going to save and create new. Oh, look at me. I didn't say that Emily was living. So we just did a name, living, and nothing else. I'm going to save and create new. Now I'm going to toggle over here to location because I'm just trying to fill my database. I'm just trying to fill it. So when I go in here, I'm just going to I'm going to create profiles for my family, for my friends, for my grandma, for my coworkers, anybody that comes to mind. That's how quickly I can create profiles for them. And by creating them here, you're going to see how they instantly start reverberating throughout your archive. So on location, we only need a name and the privacy status is going to default to private. So I'm going to give it a name. Now this can be a unique name because it may be grandma's house, it may be the community garden. It doesn't have to be the actual name. It's just what means something to you. And this is the name that you're going to recall the profile as. And you can always change it later. Changing it doesn't break anything, doesn't interrupt anything. So don't worry about getting it exactly right this time. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in Hawaii. I'm going to say, let's see, do I want to put in a location type? It's a region. I don't have to, but I'm going to. Subtype, it's a state. The location address, again, I'm not getting specific, so I'm just going to say Hawaii. I'm going to hit submit. And then I'm going to save. All right, so that's how easy it is to just start populating. You don't have to go bananas on all of the in-depth stuff. You can fill that in a lot later, or if you have somebody helping you, you can have them fill it in later. So let's go back here to profiles. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit. We're going to do some of that movie magic. And we are going to look at, we just did Jordan, right? So here's Jordan's profile. There's not much in here because we just created him, but it automatically gives you some vital statistics. We've got nothing in his timeline yet. We've got no media attached to him. Maps. We have a birth because we knew that he was Los Angeles, but I've got nothing else. I want you to think about that. as we go through this. So the other person I created was Emily. Here's Emily. I didn't even have a birth date for Emily. I just created her card. I created her profile card. So we're going to do one more and we're going to look at Hawaii. I got nothing. I got an address of Hawaii is in Hawaii, but I've got nothing else. And that's okay. I want you guys to keep this in mind when we see where we're going. So here's my movie magic. We're going to go to Layla. Now I'm going to pretend that I'm Layla. That's going to be my name for the day. So I created my own profile card. And I went in here, and when I created my profile card, it gave me a name. I put in where I was born. I connected it to that location. And then I started building out my timeline. And if you look at the timeline, I just started from my first day of school of kindergarten was somewhere around September 2009. I remember I was like 3 when I got my first dog. His name was Milo. So we're going to say something like that. I think I had him with me on when I did my trick-or-treating for Halloween. So it was about October. I graduated from the 5th grade somewhere around here. My biggest memory was this science fair project I did on ocean plastics. I don't remember what school I was in, but it was Seattle, Washington. Uh-oh, look, here I remember that I started high school in Roosevelt High School. So was this the same school? Nope, because 8th grade wasn't high school. Okay, but at least I know it was Seattle. I did some COVID lockdown. I returned to in-person school, and then I started college at UC Santa Cruz. That's all I've put in here. That's it. I've put a couple of relationships in here just to fill it out a little bit. I've got Tyler's my classmate, Mateo's my brother, Ramon's my father. There we go. All right. Oh, to be this young. So what we're going to do now is I, Layla, just got married. Congratulate me, please. So I'm going to add in here an event, and I'm going to add in my union ceremony, my wedding. So I, Layla, was betrothed to Jordan. See how putting all those people in and adding all those people in makes it so searchable right then and there? I know the exact date that I got married. It was October 4th of 2025. And I know that, let's see, I had Emily was at my wedding. There she is, just an Emily. And I know that the ceremony location was at the Sandpoint Country Club. There isn't a location, so I'm going to make one. Profile name, Sandpoint Country Club. Now I'm going to actually build this as a location profile because I just happen to know that Sandpoint is something that is meaningful in my family. It's a place that I know I'm going to have a lot more connection to. So we're going to go ahead and create that. You know what? I'm not going to get this detailed yet, but I'm going to give it its address of Sandpoint, if I can spell, Sandpoint Country Club in Seattle. I'm going to hit submit. There we go. I'm going to create that new location. I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say Sandpoint. And boop, there it is. All right. So we're going to save that guy. So just that, I was able to put in Jordan, Emily, my wedding, and where it was. Okay. I also went on a honeymoon. So I'm going to put in just a regular event. And I'm going to say other event because it wasn't the wedding, it was the honeymoon. So it is honeymoon to Hawaii. See why we made that Hawaii profile earlier? I'm not going to do event type. I'm not going to do any of that stuff just yet. But what I'm going to do is give it a start date of October 5th. We left the day after the wedding and we came back on October 12th. We got a whole week in Hawaii. It was wonderful. And I guess I'm going to say that I took my husband with me. That's probably the polite thing to do. So we're going to attach Jordan. Let's see. Ooh, I forgot to add its location. So I made it a profile. So I'm going to do location and I'm going to say Hawaii. And I'm going to save that. So now what I've got is a honeymoon to Hawaii and I've got my marriage to Jordan. Well, I happen to have those pictures readily available on my cell phone. So what I'm going to do is, again, movie magic. And I'm going to pull my cell phone pictures. So this is my Apple camera roll. And I'm in Layla's phone. I'm in my phone. For my union ceremony, that's my wedding. So I'm going to open that up. And I'm going to scroll down here to where it says upload media. So I've got these beautiful pictures. I've got a video and some more pictures. And I'm going to drag and I'm going to drop this guy in here. 5 media, save. Doggo's going to put them where they need to go. Storming here in Atlanta, so my doggo gets to work extra hard today. Thank you, Xfinity Internet. All right, so now that icon turned blue because I put media there. See how easy that was for me to just drag everything in? Now I've got some honeymoon photos, right? My amazing trip to Hawaii. So I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm going to come down here. I'm going to select, now this is just my iCloud camera roll. I didn't download, I didn't upload, I didn't modify, I didn't do anything special. I just opened my iPhotos. And you can do this with Google Photos, you can do this with a hard drive, you can do this with your Android. Any way that you can get your files up on the screen, you can do this with. So I'm going to hit save. And Doggo's going to do his thing again. Stormy weather. Goodness, he's working extra hard today. Xfinity's been struggling with all the downed trees and the rain that we've been having. That lovely hurricane that's unfortunately hitting Jamaica is wreaking havoc here in Atlanta as well. All right. So what I want to also point out is that we are a web-based application. So my friend Emily was at my bachelorette party. So I'm going to go and I'm going to log on to my Archoral archive on Emily's laptop. And she's going to open her camera roll for me. So if I add an additional event in here, and I say event other, I'm not going to give it all this information yet. I'm going to say Layla's bachelorette party. Oh, spell check was meant for me, I promise. All right, we're going to leave it like that because that just proves that I can make it a mess and I can come back later. The date. Let's see. We did that a couple of weeks before the wedding and it was a Saturday, so I'm pretty sure it was September 20th. I don't remember where we went. It was one of those bus rides. She can maybe tell me later where this bar is, who knows? And I'm going to upload the media. Okay. So if you'll notice, there are some friends in these pictures, right? There are some people that attended my bachelorette party, just like my husband attended my wedding. My friends attended my bachelorette party. So we're going to close this. We're going to go back to our full screen. So this bachelorette party, some of the people that went with me were also Emily and Sophia. So I'm going to put in Emily and I'm going to put in Sophia. Okay, so now I've got those two people connected to that event, and I'm going to hit save. So before we leave my profile and we start looking at some of the cyclical things that we just did, some of the magic that we just performed, I sat down with my mom. She was looking over my shoulder and she said, honey, that science fair that you keep talking about, you went to Eckstein Middle School. So I remember I had just said that it was in Seattle, but I didn't remember the name of my school. So I can go in here and where it says location, this was my middle school. So I want to change it to make a profile. There's no profile from my middle school yet. So I'm going to say Eckstein Middle School. And it is educational. And it's a middle school. And its current address is Eckstein Middle School in Seattle. So now I've got some specifics. And you know what else Mom reminded me? Is that, oh, okay, so I got to attach it. I made it, now I got to attach it. She also reminded me that the guy that helped me with this amazing project was my buddy, Tyler. Okay, so we're going to save. So Mom just gave me, hey, don't you remember Tyler did that? And honey, the name of your middle school, for heaven's sake, this is where you went. And then she's going to take a look at this and she's going to go, you know, you graduated from fifth grade in June. July is summertime. So I'm just going to go in here. I knew it was before July, but I wasn't certain. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go to about June. And Mom goes, wait a minute, you know what? It was actually June 6th. So I can go to the calendar button right here and I can go 2016, June, graduated on a Monday, Mom. Are you sure? Oh, you know what? You're right. It was a Wednesday, June 8th. See how easy that was just to have a simple conversation. I'm going to come down and I'm going to hit save. All right. So here I've just built out my own, right? I've given myself some vital statistics. I've entered in 12 timeline events and I've dropped in 17 pieces of media. So it really only took me just a couple of minutes to do this, but let's see what actually happened with that. So I'm going to go back to Jordan. Look at what's already in Jordan's timeline. If I go back to Emily, in Emily's timeline. So as I put in there and I connect Emily to more of my school events and I connect her to more of my birthday parties and I connect her to my graduation because we all graduated together, just by connecting her in my profile, it's going to start filling out hers. And now that I'm over here in her profile, I think that I'm going to put in here that Emily, her last name is Ramos. She's a female. And if I forget her birthday, she's going to kill me. So it was 2006, January 26th. And I can save it. And now I've just added a little bit more detail, but I made her quickly in the beginning so that I could just get it going. All right. So let's see what we did to Sophia. Now, Sophia was somebody that I had already worked on a whole bunch. So I've got a pretty good amount for Sophia. But it added that she was at Layla's bachelor party. And look at that. There's all the media right there. That media stays connected. So did I put Sophia as being in at the wedding? I did not, but I put Emily in. So if I go to Emily, I know I'm jumping around. I'm jumping around. And it may make you dizzy, but it just goes to show you how interconnected everything is. So as an attendee, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put in Sophia. And I'm going to hit save. So now it's going to be in Sophia's timeline along with all of that media. See how beautiful that is? It just starts circulating around and around and around. So if you just get in there and you start putting a little bit, because remember, it's what you know and it's what they know. And you would be amazed at how quickly your archive can just explode. Think about all the people that are actually at a wedding or were part of the wedding. If you don't want to do all the attendees, maybe just you want to do the bridal party. Think of how much that starts to cascade. Think of all the people that you went to school with that had an effect on your life. You put them just in one high school graduation event, boom, your archive has exploded. And then you can start connecting them to your birthday parties, to that science fair, to the high school prom. The possibilities are absolutely endless because we take your whole life. We allow you to do your whole life. You're not just birth, marriage, children, and death. You're all of the texture that is created in the spaces between. All right, so that was a lot, right? So when you get done and you take a look, you can come back here to the dashboard and you can go, holy cow, in one sitting, I made all these profiles. I uploaded all this media from my cell phone. Now you got to keep in mind that this is a demonstration archive, right? This is my little AI family that I can take on tours. But sitting down in one sitting and just putting in your family, your classmates, your things like that, and boom, your archive just, it's pretty incredible. Okay, so that was a lot of information to take in. And I hope that you guys got just about as excited as I do because I love seeing those numbers in my archive explode. So, what did we cover today? Where did we go? We learned to start with just the basics. Gather the info from friends and family. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a formal interview. It can just be a text message. When did we graduate high school? Something that simple, and maybe your friend knows. Create those basic profiles. If you just sit there and you create profiles and you just fill up your archive, you saw how easy and how quick it was to add them to any of the events. And it's not just timeline events that you can link people to. You can link people if they were there at your birth and they were an attendee. You can link them to just about anything in your archive and it starts to cross-populate. Entering data in profiles, populating a timeline, using that date picker, you don't need to know exactly when. Our address locator, start big, work your way to small, however you want. You could also enter sporadic relationships, meaning that you don't have to find people in your relationship section in a particular order in any way, shape, or form. Now, we didn't go over the relationship builder because I've got some very exciting news here shortly. So how does this approach help? It just starts creating those cyclical events that you can build off of, and it gives a placeholder for the media. So if you go in there and you know some of the big events that are in your camera roll on your cell phone, or some of the big events that you have built into your family archive, your historical events, if you just start populating, look how easy it was to drag and drop. And all of that media, when you drag them into an event, all that media gets automatically indexed to that event. So it's like this. You don't have to go in and do each one individually. And you can start anywhere with anyone. And that's the beautiful part. Start with your grandma, start with your high school teacher. It doesn't matter. So that's our goal. All right. So this is our QR code. It gets you to us. Laverne's going to put our web link in the chat if you like hyperlinks better than you like QR codes. Okay. So with that being said, I think we're done for the day. So if there aren't any more questions, I want to thank everybody for joining and join that newsletter. We've got some fun stuff going on, not just with our application, but out in the world. And we're trying to do some good. So happy archiving.